But at the end of the day, I'm wilder, I'm crazier.
You got knocked the out, man!
What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and I want to talk about this situation yet again. We already know what the topic is about, right? Kim Porter, Cassie. Also, we're going to add Erica Kennedy to the mix, and also Heavy D. And of course, I don't have to say the other dude's name because we already know that he's the focal point of this video, right? Now, before we get into this ferocious and electrifying email, I do want to talk about a few things that have transpired over the past couple of days. Now, the first thing that I want to discuss is the fact that in my last video, I reported that Cassie had went back to her hometown after reaching a settlement with Diddy. Now, her hometown is New London, Connecticut, and I got some messages where people were stating that that was not factual information. So my question to them is, where the hell is Cassie then? Because clearly here she is taking a stroll down the street in her hometown with her daughter by her side. But I do understand that some of you guys don't believe anything until a major publication reports it, and it's all good. I'm just saying that we didn't lie about the information, we just didn't have the pics to attach to it. So yeah, there's Cassie. She looks happy and healthy. I'm glad that she got the hell out of LA. It seems as though that she's found some type of peace right now, even though that she still may be worried deep down inside about the future, because we know that Diddy is a monster. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that she spoke up and she stood up for herself and she got the millions. So let's move along to another story that has been brought to my attention in regards to Diddy actually calling the paparazzi on himself in Miami. So it's been expressed to me that somebody from Diddy's camp actually got in contact with the paparazzi. It's bad when the paparazzi is snitching on you, right? And so basically they're saying that somebody got in contact with them to come to Diddy's property to take a few shots of Diddy looking somber and sad in the aftermath of settling that lawsuit with Cassie. I'm told that this was nothing more and nothing less than a PR stunt and a fake and fraudulent attempt to gain access to the road to quickly repair his image. Now remember, I told you guys when these pictures first surfaced of Diddy acting all sad and, you know, hands over his head, hands over his face, that I didn't believe it from the jump. I thought that it was all staged, and it seems like the hip-hop scene down in Miami concur. Now another situation that's making its way all over social media is the fact that they're saying that the Grammys has officially uninvited Diddy. They don't want him in the vicinity of the Grammys. They don't want no parts of him. They don't even want him to be on the grounds or the premises. So it looks like he's getting his Grammy invitation snatched.
You little bitch.
All right, so let's move on to Erica Kennedy. Now, let me say this. You would be hard pressed to find out a lot of information about her situation. I'm telling you, everything about her on the internet is minimal to none, right? You have people out here trying to do their research on the situation and they're coming to a dead end. You have people trying to order her book. I tried to order her book. It wasn't available. It's like it's a hot mess trying to find out what really happened to Erica Kennedy. Now, what I want to do right here is play these clips of these individuals trying to go down the rabbit hole to uncover what happened to Erica Kennedy, who was her book initially about, and things of that nature. So sit tight and I'll be right back.
All right, y'all, so we're back. Shout out to my supporter Portia, who DM'd me requesting I do a video. All right, y'all, so we're back. Shout out to my supporter Portia, who DM'd me requesting I do a video on Erica Kennedy, which is the best friend of Kimora Lee Simmons and also the author of the New York Times bestselling novel Bling. Now, before we get into it, I want to mention that Erica Kennedy passed away in 2012, June 19, 2012, at the age of 42 years old. And to this day, there's no official cause of death. I have to take this way back to my old school snooping ways to find some information out about Erica Kennedy. And according to LSA, an incog on LSA, it says, another sip. Erica Kennedy wrote Bling about Diddy. The main character is Diddy, and when he got wind, he wanted to unalive her. And I don't mean jokingly, but Erica was really close with Kimora at the time. She was one of her bridesmaids and Aoki's godmother, and Diddy respected Russell, so he couldn't touch her. Mind you, this is from 2012. This also says, I'll post more in a few. The amount of bodies this man has, alive and dead, is astonishing. When I first looked the book up, I noticed that it was out of stock everywhere, and the paperback is $52.58. But I was able to pull up the summary. Cinderella Remix, an uninhibited, unput-downable novel about a small-town girl and the music mogul determined to turn her into a megastar. When 20-year-old Mimi travels from a small town in Ohio to New York for an audition with Lamont Jackson, head of the hottest hip-hop label in the business, she has no idea that her life is about to change overnight. The moment Lamont hears the beautiful young singer's silky voice, he signs her up in a bid to find mainstream success beyond the hip-hop chart. Soon, Mimi is rocking the chicest designer clothes, hanging with an A-list crowd, and being escorted through the velvet ropes into the city's most exclusive clubs. But everything comes with a price. As Lamont's new female star, Mimi is given the full makeover treatment. Fading supermodel Vanessa de la Cruz restyles Bohemian Mimi into a ghetto fab glamour girl with outrageous shopping sprees at Prada and Gucci. Lena Whitaker, the hip-hop obsessed daughter of a powerful attorney, is handpicked by Lamont to become her club-hopping sidekick. And Mimi can't quite tell if her spotlight-craving record producer Daryl Country D. McHenry is a friend or a foe. As Mimi is seduced by the clothes, money, and decadent lifestyle of her new crowd, she comes to see that Lamont's own future in the recording industry rests on her inexperienced shoulders. Cinderella never felt pressure like this. Fast-paced and wickedly hilarious, Bling is a page-turner that grabs the reader from the very first line, taking us inside the glittering world of New York hip-hop scene with an unforgettable cast of characters, smart dialogue, and a whole lot of attitude. Erica Kennedy grabs the microphone and makes it clear that she is a major new voice. Now, with that being said, on top of the fact that the music mogul in the book was the head of a record label called Augusta Records, I mean, I don't know. To me, it definitely sounds like it was about Diddy and Kim Porter.
Oh, sis, we could absolutely get into it. Hold on. Now, I do want to make preference and do a disclaimer. As I've said on every other video, I am not a lawyer. I am not giving legal advice yet. And y'all might want to grab your snacks, grab your water, grab whatever it is you need to. Because, baby, when I tell you, this finna be a ride. Now, if you don't know who Erica Kennedy is, she was Kimora Lee Simmons' best friend. And she was also really good friends with Kim Porter. She's been well immersed within the family. So if you don't know or have any idea who she is, let me share some context with you and backstory to her.
Well, who was that girl? Her name was Erica. She was a beautiful woman. Gorgeous. All of their friends were Kim, Kimora, Erica. I guess they were all old models. They were doing it. But let's talk about Erica Kennedy. Erica worked in fashion and the music industry. As a media writer, a blogger, and a publicist for Sean John Fashion Line. She was also the best friend of Kimora Lee Simmons and was a bridesmaid in her wedding. And Erica Kennedy was godmother to her daughter, Aoki.
So when I say Erica was well immersed within the industry, she was well immersed within the industry. So she wrote a book in 2004 called Bling. It was a romantic novel, fiction, loosely based on the lifestyle of Diddy. And as we know, Diddy, he ain't really like that too much, allegedly. So from what I could find on the internet, because y'all, I kid you not, there is not much about Erica Kennedy's case. And I'm going to explain to you why, my theory in a second. From what I found on the internet, her and Diddy allegedly got into an argument or got into a disagreement about said book after it was released in 2004, and things went downhill ever since then for her. Now, when I was doing my research on Erica, outside of the notable stuff, you know, her graduating with a degree in liberal arts, her being from New York, Queens especially, her notable pieces in the industry, her poetry readings, things of that nature, there is nothing online about her case, about her unaliving being listed as a homicide. There is nothing. And believe you me, y'all know I look in research. There is nothing. Like, you see stuff like this on TV, like on NCIS, but the fact that her very existence outside of the bare minimum has been wiped clean from the internet is something bigger at play here. And my theory is Kimora knows something, because from what I did research on Kimora too, because obviously it led me down a rabbit hole, and I found some interesting videos from Kimora.
I sometimes feel like some of those things come back to haunt you over time, and stuff like that. So, I'm not really sure, but I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. Again, like, I'm sitting here with my kids in my house. Probably too young bride. So I had these kids very early.
Sean Diddy Combs allegedly threatened to hit Kimora Lee Simmons, who was pregnant at the time.
They told me they couldn't go after Puff, but they could go after Russell Simmons. Those people knew that Russell Simmons was on the chopping.
So yeah, like I said, Kimora knows something. Something she's not telling, something she chooses to not unveil. And, coercion and intimidation is a thing. So I'm not sure why, as painful as this is, why she has not probably come out in terms of outside of Diddy's power and money, as well as Russell's power and money at the time. If I was, outside of me doing my own research, Erica Kennedy's autopsy results are sealed. Only thing they have listed is she allegedly unalived from natural causes, which is BS to me personally, because she, from what I researched and what I gathered, she was a perfectly healthy 42-year-old. Nothing, no extenuating medical issues or nothing that was listed online, at least. They just have her listed as natural causes. At 42? Yeah, no. And what's even more telling is 2 women from the same bridal party are unalived. Exact same bridal party. Immersed in both families. So in the event, if I was a lawyer in this case and was given full ramification to open back up Erica Kennedy's case, the first person I'm calling, Kimora.
Alright, so you guys just heard that, and both of these beautiful ladies made some compelling arguments in regards to what they think happened to Erica Kennedy. Now, I will say that it's mighty interesting that Erica Kennedy decided to name the record company within her book Augusta Records, given the fact that Kim is from Columbus, Georgia. And I know that they're 2 different cities, but they're in the same state. And so it could be possible that Erica Kennedy was trying to low-key connect some dots for us to see later on, right? Now, as far as the second clip, when the young lady spoke on the fact that Kimora holds the key to crack this thing wide open, basically, she's absolutely right. I think the one thing that holds Kimora back is the fact that she is worried about the safety of her daughters, because when you look at Russell, he can't be depended upon, right? He's out here violating women. He's broke. And so who's going to look after her daughters? And I think that that is one thing that stands in the way of Kimora actually just letting it all go. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this wild email. Now, before I read this email, I want to say that everything that I'm about to convey to you is all alleged. This email is on fire, y'all, right? And so there were some things that I decided not to talk about. I have another portion of the email, but I left it out because it's that heavy. So let's go ahead and get into it. And it says here, man, what I'm about to regurgitate to you is some monstrous and repulsive information, dog. Bro, when I heard this it really caught me off guard, to say the least. So before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'm told that Kim Porter says she had proof that Diddy had Heavy D knocked off as well. The reason he had Heavy D knocked off is because Heavy D was working on a tell-all book as well about his life and the evil side of the business. Heavy D had conversations with Kim about Diddy being involved in H10, and I'm paraphrasing there, and he also voiced his displeasure of how Usher was taken advantage of when Usher lived with Diddy for a year. Heavy D was working on his book months prior before he died, and he confided in Kim about a lot of things and told her some secrets she didn't even know. Remember, they all started together at Uptown. Now guess who the F was the coroner for Heavy was when he passed? Ed Winter. The autopsy of Heavy came back inconclusive, just like Kim's did. And when they ran further toxicology tests, Ed Winter came across something that raised a red flag. He noticed that there was a toxin that causes clotting and immense suppression of the function of the lungs. And according to someone who previously worked with Ed Winter, said that Heavy D death was a homicide. Also, peep this weird connection. They said that Heavy D was suffering from a touch of pneumonia, just like they said about Kim. Now, this was said to be a false diagnosis because the toxin that was used on both Kim and Heavy weren't the same, but they will make a person feel as though they were experiencing flu-like symptoms. I'm told that when Ed Winter conducted the autopsy for Kim and found out that foul play was involved, he said that he would never be bullied into masking the truth again. Ed essentially said that there was a toxin found in Heavy D's toxicology report that caused clotting issues, and Heavy D's weight fluctuation over the course of his life was a perfect excuse to cover up what really happened to him. I'm told Ed Winter's exact words was people would just automatically assume that his weight played a significant role in his passing, and it didn't. I tried to look up info about that, but I didn't come across anything. But I believe it. Also, I was told that Cassie had a foot put up her tush by Diddy, and I'm paraphrasing here, in the midst of having a train ran on her because she said she was sore and needed a break. Instead, he suggested she use an ice pack afterwards because he made it clear that there are no blanking breaks. We don't take blanking breaks around here, Diddy implied. Cassie also talked about being to the bedpost blindfolded on many occasions while random men would come in and argue her. Cassie also said that there were many instances where she was blindfolded and other girls were brought into the room off the street, but she never saw their faces and only heard their moans and groans after being coerced to do S-acts on her and the guys involved. But Cassie's recollection of the voices she heard did not sound as if it was coming from a group of mature women. She also says that even if it was that time of the month, she was still sometimes forced to do S-acts. She also says that Diddy wanted her to get permission from him when he helped out her parents or other family members financially and control when she spoke to them. Now this is where it gets wild. Cassie says that Diddy found out about her and Kim's conversations and their frequent meetups before Kim died. He had Cassie's phone records pulled and saw text messages that were from a number that was unfamiliar to him. Kim had a burner phone, so to speak. But the context of the text messages between Cassie and that number pointed to the fact that she was talking to Kim. Cassie says that's the last time Diddy put pause on her, because that was the moment she knew for sure that it was time for her to escape. It's also been explained to me that Cassie said that one of the most humiliating things that Diddy made her do that makes her feel yucky even to this day is when he made her sleep with a couple of his sons. I would go into further detail, but it's too graphic. Hey bro, I sent every recording, documents, and emails to dude. You know who and what I'm talking about, so you are thoroughly covered. Later, 100. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that. Now I want to take the time to read you something in regards to the passing of Heavy D, because it's very interesting. So it says the rapper, real name Dwight Arrington Myers, passed away on November the 8th, shortly after a shopping trip. Many close to the New York native believe pneumonia was the cause of death. He said he had a touch of pneumonia, maybe from traveling. He just got back from England. Cousin Rudy Phillips told the New York Daily News, sadly the flight from the UK likely created a blood clot that killed him. Ed Winters, a spokesman for the LA County Coroner's Office, told ABCnews.com that the medication for flu-like symptoms were found at Heavy D's home. Although Winters declined to name the medication, he said no illegal drugs were found. Now I'm just going to read the top portion of this, and it says the late rapper and record producer passed away suddenly at the age of 44 on Tuesday, November the 8th. The results from an autopsy have been proven inconclusive and are pending the results of toxicology tests, reports the LA Times. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that, so let's connect a few dots. So first of all, it seems that both Kim and Heavy got sick after taking trips outside of the country. Now, the one thing that's evident is that you can't blame the C word on Heavy because the C word was not out then. Now, a lot of people try to say that Kim contracted the C word. We just didn't know what it was at that particular point. No, she didn't. Now, similarity number 2, both of them were said to have pneumonia. Now, let's go to similarity number 3. Both of their autopsies come back inconclusive. And number 4, Ed Winter in both cases elected not to talk about the prescriptions that were found on the scene. I know what the prescription was. 1 million milligrams of Diddy. That's what it was. I'm telling you, it's clear and evident that Diddy has his name written all over this and all over a lot of people that went missing that was close to him, right? At some point in time. Now, as far as the accusation when it comes to Diddy's sons allegedly having some type of intimate relationship with Cassie, it's not above the realm of possibility, because didn't Diddy go behind Justin and deal with Lori Harvey? He absolutely did. So it's just crazy. I understand that this was a long video, y'all, but I'm gonna cut it right here because I have more information for tomorrow. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole entire situation, everything that I talked about within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.